Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. So on the first update of the day, we have recent updates from Nick Walker at 2 weeks out from this year's Olympia. And a lot of people either see Nick Walker in their top 3, top 4, and some people see him around their 10th place area. Some seem to think that Krizo, Derek, Samson, and Andrew will all outstructure Nick Walker. But on the other hand, Nick Walker does have a crazy level of mass and conditioning. We're not sure if Derek Lunsford is going to be big enough. We're not sure if Samson, Krizo, and Andrew are going to come in shape, but we do know Nick Walker will come in big in condition. So you guys let me know in the comment section below, where do you see Nick Walker placing at this year's Olympia? And once again, my Olympia predictions will be coming very soon. Now, in the next update of the day, we have a recent update from Samson Dauda. And for the people that don't have Samson Dauda in their top 10 going into this year's Olympia, I think they definitely want to rethink that. To look this classic but carry the amount of size that Samson does is just insane, somewhat reminiscent of the late Cedric McMillan. But we don't know how much Samson weighs because he stopped looking at the scale, he's just focused on the look. But I'm excited to see this guy on stage at this year's Olympia. Do you guys believe Samson Dauda can crack that top 6 this year? Now switching over to Derek Lunsford, we have a recent physique update from him, even though it isn't much. And there are a few factors at play here. This is a very good photo, seems to be edited a little bit. Also, Derek is in the gym with a pump. With all that being said, Derek looks incredible in this shot. As I've said numerous times, my main concern is just Derek Lunsford having detail in the upper body. But when I see pictures like this, I believe we're going to see a completely different Derek at this year's Olympia. I think Derek is going to be a monster this year. And switching over to Michal Krizo, we have some recent updates from him. And I'm pretty sure almost everyone has Michal Krizo in their top 10 going into this year's Olympia. And of course, he definitely has a top 10 physique. But for Krizo to be in that top 10, he has to bring conditioning that we have never seen him bring before. He also has to bring better posing and better posing endurance than we've ever seen before. So from Prague Pro to this year's Olympia, do you guys believe that Krizo can truly drastically change his conditioning and also become a drastically better poser? You guys tell me. Now, switching over to Iain Valliere, who will be one of the most conditioned guys at this year's Olympia, is getting interesting, guys. It's getting very interesting. Iain Valliere is looking the best he's ever looked, but with all these shapely guys coming in, it's going to be hard for him to maintain this 7th place position. Going to be hard for Iain Valliere to stay within that top 10. But once again, if guys come in off, Iain Valliere is almost a guy you can bet on to come in condition. Now, switching over to James Hollingshead, another guy that comes in condition. James is looking massive and looking better than ever going into this year's Olympia. This guy could very well be a dark horse for getting into their top 10 along with guys like Charles Griffin. And at 2 weeks out from this year's Olympia, James Hollingshead does look massive, but doesn't really have his trademark conditioning at 2 weeks out, which makes me wonder, does James plan on sacrificing a little bit of conditioning to come in fuller? If so, I'm not too sure about that. Now switching over to Blessing Awodibu, it seems like he really sped things up since the last physique update we seen of him. And I hope Blessing has a great showing and also gets a good placing at this year's Olympia. He's been doing a lot of talking this season, and after this year's Olympia, if Blessing doesn't look good or plays well, I don't think people are going to be too nice to him on the internet. Blessing said he's going to be top 3 this year, right between Big Ramy and Brandon Curry. Now switching over to Regan Grimes, we have a recent physique update from him. And I think this next year is going to be really important for Regan Grimes. Just a year ago, we were saying Regan is one of the most aesthetic guys in the open. This guy is going to be a future Mr. Olympia. Well, if we fast forward to now, we have about 5 or 6 guys who are very aesthetic, could all be future Mr. Olympias. Between Regan, Samson, Rafa, Andrew Jack, Blessing Awodibu, I definitely don't want Regan to get lost in that mix. I feel like he really has to improve and make an impact next season. Now, switching over to Classic Physique, we have a recent physique update from Urs Kalecinski, who did get to train with Jay Cutler. Urs is going to bring a crazy level of conditioning to this year's Olympia. He does have a few weaknesses we all know about, but if this guy can come in with a completely different level of conditioning paired with a great structure, I believe it's possible for Urs Kalecinski to move up in placings at this year's Olympia. Some people have Urs winning this year. It's a little bold. Now switching over to Michael Daboul, we have a recent physique update from him 2 weeks out from this year's Olympia. This guy's looking incredible. And I didn't mention him in my prediction video, but Michael Daboul and Dankovia Anderson are my 2 picks to potentially hop into their top 10. Both of those guys have incredible physiques, and the level of conditioning that Michael brings cannot be ignored. And he also probably has some of the best quads in the division, crazy quality and separation. Now switching over to 212, we have a recent physique update from Keone Pearson. This guy is looking absolutely cartoonish in this update. And I wonder why the genetically gifted guys are always cursed with these 4-packs. Keone Pearson, Phil Heath, Ronnie Coleman, all world-class genetics, but they all had those not so pleasing 4-pack abs. But I'm excited to see Keone on stage at this year's Olympia. I believe he's going to be in that top 3. Maybe he can fight for even higher than that. Now switching over to Kerrith Bajjo, we have a recent update from him. And under my 212 prediction video, a lot of you guys were saying Kerrith is going to be top 5 this year. I believe I placed him 8th. And that is very possible, but these 212 guys can almost flip-flop anywhere. Kerrith can place 3rd at this year's Olympia. Keone can place 3rd. Ole Creevy can place 3rd. Angel Calderon can place 3rd. Ahmad Eshkanani can place 3rd. It's just prediction, guys, nothing personal. But I'm excited to see Kerrith on stage. And ending this video here with the archive of the day, you guys let me know in the comment section below which legendary bodybuilder is this. And I'll give you guys a tip. He was 19 years old in this photo. But as always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. I apologize if I sound a little bit dry. I am dealing with a sore throat today, but we still have bodybuilding news to discuss. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button. I'm Krishan from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.